Okay, Jeff, let's move forward. Let's say a new golfer comes to you. They're discouraged because they've taken lessons and it's just not clicking. What do you say to them then?
That I get all the time. I mean, people come back, I took a lesson. Of course, you hear it from others. I used to get a lot of students and then come, I took a lesson from so-and-so and it didn't work at all, so I'm going to come try you. And you all of a sudden know that, boy, you're up in maybe a long line of people who are going to try to teach this person. The first thing I'd do, obviously, as a teacher, would again be to diagnose. Where are they? What's going on? What are they thinking? First thing I would have to ascertain, obviously, would be, did they understand our last lesson? I mean, was there comprehension? So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll say to the student, tell me what we worked on last time. I want to hear them repeat back what they heard, because I may have tried to communicate something and was completely unable to communicate it in a way that was coherent for them. So as they repeat back to me, I go, okay, I see what you're saying. Well, let's revisit that. Or it may just be a lack of effort. Mrs. Smith, when's the last time you practiced since our last lesson? Well, I've been really busy, hadn't had a chance to work on any of this, and so you, Rick, maybe she understands, she just has no effort. And then the third thing may be, well, does she even have the ability? Tyler's Performance Institute, we were together not long ago with Matt McConnell who's involved with TPI. TPI often says, is a student physically capable of accomplishing something that you're asking them to do? Torso rotation or flexion in the wrists or anything like that. People's body types are different. Their physiological abilities vary. So I would ask all three of those questions. Do you understand? Has there been any effort since the last lesson? And then do you have the ability to do this? And of course, I wouldn't ask them that. I would have to make that assessment myself. Now, if all three of those things are in place, she does understand. She did really put the effort into it, and she really does have the ability, then I would probably encourage them with this idea of endurance. Look, there's just a long process to overcome old motor patterns. A lot of tour players say, look, I understand it, I get it, but I don't own it yet. Just repetition, mirror work. We do a lot of mirror work with the better players and even amateurs as well. If they'd go home and spend time in the mirror trying to achieve different positions, most people, you can't just think all these thoughts. You have to actually own it, and that takes endurance.
Okay, so now let's make a connection. You have a relatively new believer. They're discouraged. They're still battling sin. They're not so excited in the faith now. What do you tell that person?
Well, there it is. I mean, now we're right back to now we have a beautiful parallel between golf and the spiritual life. Do you understand what you're trying to accomplish? Do you understand who Jesus is? Do you understand the call of the gospel? Do you understand the kingdom? Do you understand the unseen realm? Secondly, do you have a passion to do it? Do you kind of see it from a distance but then not participate? Is there effort on your part? I love what Dallas Willard says. He says, God's not opposed to effort. He's opposed to earning. We don't earn our salvation, but there is a big aspect in which we do supply effort. There's no way anybody can say it takes no effort to go into the mission fields or lay down your life or give sacrificially or anything else. And of course, lastly, ability, well, that would be the requisite requirement there. The ability would be the Holy Spirit's ability, or has He gifted you in that way? Once that is determined and that diagnosis is made again, then I would be able to step in with somebody and then give some of them maybe some spiritual disciplines and some other things. How do they come into alignment to living like Jesus lived? Are they spending time in the Word? Is there a deep understanding of the necessities of community, whether it be a Links Fellowship or local church or just a Bible study or a home group or some close mentors around them? So all of those things I would really give to try to help someone understand, maybe get through that discouragement time and give them a little bit of a push forward to continue in the process of loving Jesus and living in His kingdom.